Nation, salute. You see, we got a special guest in the building. We got the great Raider Twuan in the building with us, man, blessing us. Oh, yeah, it's going down.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And just like the great Kermit the Frog said, we here. Let's go. Salute, salute, man. We in here. Man, what's going on with the nation? Twan, what's going on, man?
Hey man, it is, what I'm saying? I'm not used to being here up early in the morning, but hey, brown crackers even work early in the morning, so I gotta give y'all the Raider Twine brown cracker salute.
Yes,
Breakfast
sir.
brown cracker, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
Blessings
Man,
to everybody out there for real.
blessings, blessings, man. As you can see, man, it's good to have you here, man. Good to have you. I haven't had you on in a minute, man, but it's been like it's been work and all this kind of craziness, but glad to have you back on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for having me, and I know we got a whole lot of good Raider football to talk about and all that today. So, hey, let's go ahead and get it, man. Let's get it.
For sure. First, let me dive into your. I always wanted to ask how the brown crackers got started. How did
Oh
the
man, look, hey.
what's the story, man? We got to know.
So I it, for people, well, people know me for eating these wonderful things right here,
Yes, sir.
and I'm always eating on live. I'm always and it started I it started when I first started YouTube. Um Before I became a full-time content creator, um I was a person who was a side I call it a sidekick. I always was the guest to someone else's channel and was always, during that time, um we would have lives, it wouldn't just be an hour live. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We'd be live 3, 4, 6, 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like you be just talking, talking Raider football, talking something else, and then going back to Raider football. And like that's how it was, you know what I'm saying? So I before be during that time, I would just be talking and be eating. And this is actually an unsalted snack, and for health reasons for me, but
Yes, sir.
a whole bunch of salt ain't good anyway. So yeah, these have been my little snack. And you know some people call these pretzels, and I don't even like using that word anymore, but when you really think about what it's actually made of, it's actually a cracker, but it's just brown.
Mm-hmm. It's a little.
So
You got a little
that's
gloss.
that's where the whole brown crackers came. And it came from YouTube. It came from YouTube. It came from the chat, and just people know me as brown crackers. You might just happen to see in your chat. You know what I'm saying? Somebody put up the brown cracker emoji because that's how
That's like the bat. That's like the bat
a,
signal. You know what I'm
a
saying?
lot,
For
and,
Twine.
and and that's what, and I think that's what I like it even more, because you know of course everybody is a Raider. You know what I'm saying? We do Raider content, so everybody everybody can salute somebody with a Raider flag, and I've seen those, which are dope. I love that.
Oh yeah.
But when I see, saying, people just flood the chat with the brown cracker emoji, that it just makes it even more special and unique to what I got over, with my channel, and even on other people's channels. It's funny because I'll be like, a guest on, in the chat, just say, shouting out everybody. My son, my favorite, I don't want to call it a moniker, but my favorite saying is what's good, fam. Like, I always
Hey,
do that. What's good, fam? Like I say that, shout that out to everybody, and then everybody, and then whoever responds, what I'm saying, then I give them a personal salute. And there's certain guys out there, that I have like a special, what I'm saying for them specifically. And that's just over years of relationship, and and rapport. So yeah, man. But the brown cracker is definitely probably something that's never gonna die in regards to the Raider Twuan channel. Because again, uh, I would say a good 98% of my lives or videos, I always got to give the Chatter Raider Twuan brown cracker salute.
yes,
So
sir. Well, hey, it's funny you were saying that, and I'm like, I look to my left, I'm like, oh, so shout to Trader Joe's for these milk chocolate covered mini pretzels, man.
okay, okay.
Hey, so I was gonna say, salute, this is to you. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I
Hey,
had them on deck and didn't even know
hey, and there's actually a reason as to why I don't look. This is the bag that I use, because I don't even want to let the companies know which one I'm giving promotion to, because I need them to cut me a check somewhere down the line. As many brown crackers as I've been eating. You know what I'm saying? When I actually let you know what company it is, it's because they paying me. I'm be like,
You
shout
feel
out
me?
to so and so for, what I'm saying, and go ahead and get you some so and so brown crackers. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? But
Oh yeah.
until they hit me up, what I'm saying, I'm going rogue.
Man, they coming. It's coming.
It's business, man. I realize that. Not saying that I'm all about making the money, and it's not really all about the dollar. But you I see how other companies and other channels, they're marketing everything, what I'm saying, and that is just bringing in extra flow that they can even filter back into the channel and to their people on the channel, what I'm saying. So that's what I more of trying to do for my channel is, and I know we're just talking about YouTube, but that's kind of what I want to do is, the proceedings that I do get, I want to dump that back into the people that watch my show, which is, again, let me shout them out right now, is the best chat that YouTube has to offer, and that is the congregation. They name themselves, and I believe that's the best name of all YouTube channels, is the congregation. Just that's just my personal bias. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to the congregation. I'm gonna give y'all a Raider Twuan Brown Cracker salute.
Shout to the mighty, mighty congregation. Yeah, it's cool, man. You got a lot of good things going over on your channel, man. Like, I watched a couple of the last ones too, and you were talking about the D line
Okay.
on one of them, and so I kind of got a theory, and I think you might like that. So with Pierce, I like having Pierce here because he was on a very stacked defensive team, a very good defensive line. If you remember that team, that was with OC Umayura. You had Michael Strahan. You had Justin Tuck. You had all these. You had a pretty good, solid D line there, and I think he's trying to bring something close to that back. Because that was the Brady killers. That was the ones
Mhm.
that took Brady out for that. Well, really twice, but I think he was part of one of those teams. I think, but yeah, and that line was vicious. That was one time that I seen Brady looking spooked. You know what I mean? Like that Super Bowl. they were getting after him. So I'm hoping he can put something together like that. Because I mean, I like who we brought back with that D line. Because as you like when we brought Jenkins back too on top of Butler, I felt like that was a great move because we still got Byron Young in the cut, we still got Nesta in the cut. So it's and then we got Wilkins, of course. So I mean we are stacked. And so it's like we can leave that D line alone for a little bit right now. You know what I mean? I just in my opinion, I feel like now we can move on to another because I mean we still got that needed linebacker, we still got a needed at one more. Well, see the thing, I thought maybe one corner before we lost a Meek. So I think we should get another because I was hoping we can get a vet somehow in free agency and a DB, maybe high in the draft or maybe second round or something like that. But we kind of do need two because, losing a Meek gave us kind of, well, it pretty much took our depth at that slot position. So how I'm seeing it is maybe we could just if we do draft a DB, the first, 13th pick, we can have Bennett hopefully fill in where Amik left and give us some depth in that slot. So,
You talking about so D line? You know what really went down with that D line? That D line had a situation where the guys that were there,
mm-hmm.
the guys that left, I'll say it like that. The guys that left, they were old and unproductive. Mm-hmm. And it was time to really move on from them. The Bilal Nichols, it was time for because what we were asking for Bilal Nichols to do was similar to what we were expecting for Christian Wilkins to do for us. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that he's that big of a defensive tackle, but we needed for you to really get some pressure up the middle, and he was not. Now the guys that they brought back, those guys were actually out of the older defensive tackles. Those two guys were actually the productive ones. Adam Butler and John Jenkins were the ones that actually really were producing for that team. John Jenkins is, he's not known to be the pass rusher, but he was definitely a force when it came to stuffing the run in the middle of our D line. And Adam Butler, people don't realize, but a lot of Max Crosby's action was really based off of Adam Butler setting him up for those sacks. So, and I said it in that live, and a lot of people are not discussing this, that Adam Butler was actually the pass rush coordinator per se. If you allow me to explain that, Adam Butler was actually the guy whenever a defensive call came in, Adam Butler was talking to the D line and coordinating when they did their stunts. So that means that he was like, okay, we're in cover 2. Okay, we're gonna do a in tackle twist. You know what I'm saying? And he called that out, and then they did it. You know what I'm saying? So he was a part of knowing what the defense was, but knowing when to and how to, you know what I'm saying, set up, you know what I'm saying, choreographed, rushes. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they could just go solo and go at it, but there was times where you saw the tackle would go to the outside, and then you see Max Crosby flying from the inside to go get the quarterback. That was on Adam Butler. So to bring him back, it was a key piece to, you know what I'm saying, those two guys, especially John Jenkins and Adam Butler. Those were key pieces to bring back to our D line. Now, the young guys, I'm cool with bringing them, having them here, you know what I'm saying, but they definitely need to produce this year. Byron Young, he needs to produce. Out of his second year, he needs to produce. Tyree Wilson, we know he was injured, and I know we might possibly talk about that a little more later on, but Tyree Wilson, he needs to produce. So looking at this D line, I'm very comfortable with where we are. I was looking at adding because we had two people leave. You know, I was looking at having two people come in. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't now that Wilkins is back, or not Wilkins is back, or that we added Wilkins. Let me correct that. That we added Wilkins, I'm fine with this D line. Now I can nitpick on it and say maybe I will want another edge rusher, just a real solid edge rusher that can come behind. A better edge rusher that can come behind Malcolm Kuntz. Um, but I'm really good there. Secondary, I agree with you. I think secondary we need two guys. Um, and I'm still thinking that we can get somebody in free agency. Free agency is not over, ladies and gentlemen. For those that think that free agency has closed this door, it has not. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of veteran corners that are still out there. But Telesco, we've been seeing, has been in a situation where he's been spending money wisely. And we haven't been doing that for years. You know what I'm saying? We've been having bad free agents coming here, spending a whole bunch of money on him, and it's not really panning out. Well, Telesco's not doing that. He's saying, let me paraphrase for Telesco. He's saying, hey, this is the price we're going to give you. Come holler at us. You know what I'm saying? So there's guys out there that he's given contracts to, you know what I'm saying, negotiated contracts to, gave them the dollar amount and said, hey, that's how much we think of you over here. Come over when you want to. So I think there is some corners out there that are looming out there at Telesco's price, and hey, they're trying to negotiate if they can get more than that. So I can't be mad at it. But I think we just gotta play the waiting game on that. And also with free agency is time equals lesser dollar amount. So as you know what I'm saying, the first day of free agency, everybody's trying to get top dollar. You know what I'm saying? But as time goes, that $7 million contract starts to be 4.5. So that's where Telesco is looking, and I'm cool with that. If we can get that right free agent, you know what I'm saying, in here at the right price, you know what I'm saying? And I say it over at my channel, production has to match the paper. And that's what Telesco's been doing. The production has to match the paper. And I think that's what we're going to do continue to do in free agency. And then also I think we need to address it in corner also in the draft. So corner in the draft, and then some part, in free agency. And free agency can also be after the draft. So we'll see how that pans out.
Who's your favorite free agent to bring in DB wise, and who are your favorite guys in the draft coming out the draft?
In the draft, there's actually a lot. So you might have to narrow down in what rounds or anything like that, and I'll do that.
Oh, I'm gonna say top like out of the first two rounds, I would say like your top three corners, pretty much. I would say, who's your top three?
Okay, so I like free agent wise. I've been really talking Stephon Gilmore, and some people downplay that and think, oh yeah, Stephon Gilmore, he's old. Yeah, he is an older corner, but when you look at our room, we need an older corner. And not just an older corner, but this corner is actually still productive. He was productive over with his last team, which was the Cowboys. Some people want to knock him because he's a Patriot, because now, the Patriots have a bad taste in our mouths, for many reasons. But Stephon Gilmore is still productive, and I also have heard the discussion of of Gilmore, of him getting picked on when he was with the Cowboys. Yeah, He got picked on because the other guy on the other side was picking off all everything and everything. Okay,
Yeah.
the corner. If you watch the NFL, that bland corner, that surprise corner for them, he was picking off every single thing that was coming his way. So, what would you do if you was a quarterback? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Would you throw towards the person that's picking off anything and everything, or
Nah.
would you go towards, you know what I'm saying? Would you take your chances against Stephon Gilmore? And when you look at the ratings, even with him getting a lot of, you know what I'm saying, action, he was deflecting a lot. You know what I'm saying? The QB rating was, I believe it was like an 82 or something like that. Which is actually pretty low. For as much action as he was getting. So, you know, him coming in, I think it would be a plus, you know what I'm saying, to the team, to what he could contribute on the field, but also um, Jack Jones. You know what I'm saying? As much as we want to, believe in Jack Jones, and I'm one of the biggest cheerleaders for Jack Jones. I was cheering for Jack Jones when he was at the combine and saw and said, "Hey, we need to go get him. He's that dude." You know what I'm saying? And to find out that he actually is that dude. But um, Jack Jones also needs somebody, a senior guy that he can learn from and dive tape from, and get everything that he can get out of to be a better corner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really stuck right now on Stephon Gilmore. I know Tre'Davious White came in. I know, I believe that we did the same thing. Like I said, we offered him a contract, but it wasn't up to what he wanted. So he floating around. Until he, wants to, come to his senses.
Mhm.
But Tre'Davious White is also a good guy. I'm not really looking to spend a whole lot of money. I know there's some high dollar guys still out there, free agent wise, but I'm cool with just getting a veteran and looking at somebody in the draft. Terry and Arnold is in the first round. Kool-Aid is looking good. People were concerned about his injury. Cooper DeJean is also another guy, but he's also another guy that can be like a versatile guy where he can cover one-on-ones, kind of like a nickel type of corner, that can play safety. And I think he might actually lean towards more of being on the safety role, coming out of the draft. Um, Kyrie Jackson from Oregon is tall. He's probably going to be in the later rounds. I'm trying to think who else was I looking at? Decameron, is it Decameron Robertson? Another later round.
Is that
Corner.
Florida? Was that Florida State or where I forgot where I
But he's
seen
like
him.
he's like
Yeah.
6'2", 6'1". You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at, and I like to lean more towards the taller corners.
Mhm.
Because we, last year we kind of had, and no disrespect to our dogs, but we had the lollipop guild. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was 5'9" and 5'9" and shorter. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, but
Yeah.
you know, uh, I think we need to have some versatility there. I know Brandon Faison is still on the roster,
Mhm.
but I'm not really relying on him too
Mhm.
much, just personally. Um, Now, is could he serve as depth? Of course. But I would love to get something more on the top end, to really fill out this roster. And I think that's the business we need to be in, you know, moving forward, is really getting depth. You know what I'm saying? We're
Mhm.
really top heavy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When I say top heavy, I'm talking about, and you got to do hypotheticals and knock on wood every time you do it. But if one of our players goes down,
Mhm.
I always say, then what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Like, for an example, our linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
right? We know that, Patrick Graham likes to run two linebackers, you know what I'm saying, in his set. So Spillane and Diablo, I'm cool with them. But if one of those guys goes down, and I'm knocking on wood, and I feel like John Madden, knock on wood if you with me. But what do we do? What now after that? Do we really trust in Masterson? Do we really trust in Bernie? And if we don't, then we need to bring in guys that we don't have a heart attack if one of those guys comes in covering for one of our starters. And that's where we need to build this team, whether it's a free agent or it's a draftee. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these draft guys, we can believe in them, even in their first, in their first year. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with filling out this roster,
I'm
and,
I'm
and not having a heart attack when the starter goes down.
I'm actually glad you said that too, because I feel the same way with linebacker. I felt the same way with corner like the last 2 years. Like we were just on paper we had enough, but like you said, when injuries happen, that'll shake up everything because then you're forcing one person to have the responsibility of two, pretty much two people until the backup can figure out how to, pretty much figure it out. But like how you said that with linebacker, I feel like we should stack up on a couple as UDFAs so at least we got some, we got some depth. Now, how you feel on that position? I know how the nation kind of feels for the most part about a wide receiver. Now I say, yeah, that's cool. We on paper we got Devontae, we got Myers. We just lost Renfro, so I mean it's. I feel it's a need. Like we can always upgrade, and for me it has to be another speed receiver. You know what I mean? Because and I feel like it has to be a top. Because we haven't really invested in the wide receiver position really a lot, like through the draft. You know what I mean? Like we were surprised when Trey Tucker got drafted. You know what I mean? And it was like I want to say fourth round or you know what I mean. But he was a pick that people were kind of questioning. I kind of would have went somewhere else too, really. But I mean, it was good what he was able to do. The one thing but he's a smaller guy. I would really like us to draft a little a wide receiver with some size and of course speed. Like I like Texas I like their wide receivers. I like their tight end. There's a lot, even their running back. I mean, there's a lot of good I think players on that Texas that Longhorn team. And I would be happy with any of those guys. Like tight end, I think is a position that I mean, really, like you said, we're top heavy. And it's we just need somebody for the other side. Basically, we got the starters on the one side. We just need to get that for sure definite starter, or if there's already a starter, we just need to get that depth piece behind them. So it's like we are there. We just have to pretty much if we drafted like we drafted well, of course, quarterback, a running back. Like I said, my speedy wide receiver. You know what I mean? That's what, and it's not for me. It's for Al Davis, man. Al Davis wants speed because he knows speed kills. And it's like I know the teams that we have to go against. We have to be crafty. We can't go in there with just Devontae and Jacoby. You know what I mean? Because like I said, if one of those get hurt, then what? Is Jacoby going to carry the? You know what I mean? Like we got to start stacking some depth because we don't even know how long. Well, I mean, that contract kind of keeps Devontae here pretty much a long time, but Jacoby's been doing good.
Yeah.
So we don't know if he's going to still be here beyond this. Someone might offer him some money next year. So we'll be looking for another, so it's like we have to start developing our own wide receivers because, we got ours in free agency. We didn't, except for Trey Tucker. You know what I mean? Trey Tucker's one of ours. But we need another Trey Tucker type, but that can play all three downs. You know what I mean? Like we need someone that's not just a returner, because having him as a returner will be lethal, and having him as that, like on those jet sweeps and all that kind of stuff. Like we can definitely, use Trey Tucker like that. And, I think just another guy to stretch the field the other way, like have Tucker going this way and then have the other speed guy. It just and it helps Devontae and them too because it'll take the top off and it'll get them all this underneath and everything like that. It'll just make I think it'll just complete our offense, and we don't need much. Just like one good speed guy. I like Troy Franklin. I like, of course, Worthy, the fastest dude in the draft. His partner's not too shabby itself. Mitchell on the other side in Texas. That's what I said. They got some good wide receivers coming up. We could probably, I know the Texas wide receivers are probably going to be going first round. You know what I mean? Like we would have to try to trade back because I know KC is going to try to add some wide receivers too. They added that dude, Hollywood Brown, which is crazy. And it's like they've been bringing in, they brought in Valdez Scanless. They brought in what's his name from Pittsburgh a couple years ago. They had, it's like they're adding these little pieces, but their defense is getting better. But they're starting to try to add speed again, like they had with Tyreek. So it's like we have to, I feel like we have to keep up. We have to keep our offense current because that was our real struggle last year was offense. You know what I mean? It really wasn't our defense. It was the offense. We couldn't get nothing going. And there was times where our offense went dead. So that's why I feel like fixing the line, I feel like we kind of stayed put, but I understand why, because we wanted to bring our defensive pieces back. So we kind of had to go keep James. We had to probably roll with Mumford, just to kind of see if we could get through. But, we're going to test, we're testing it out. And I guess at least James has been there for a few years now. So, at least there's that comfort factor. And I think, I don't know, like right now it looks like we'll be okay line-wise. We still got to worry about the guard situation. So that's the next thing. But there's a lot of, see how we were talking about if we did get a receiver, I would go after Xavier Worthy from Texas. I agree. Like I wouldn't even be mad because of course I've been screaming corner ever since the beginning. I've been screaming because it's like I figured we were gonna do something for the D tackle position in free agency because that's what we needed. We needed someone that is proven and has done it. And I thought we were gonna go like that for the line too, but we went. We stayed homegrown with James. And, which I see because you've seen everything that happened after that. It was, the John Jenkins. It was the Butler. So it's like, okay, I see it. We're just, we're going to try to keep the guys intact and then just, keep stacking the defense. So I'm not mad at that. Could be worse. Could be.
Yeah. And with the wide receivers, I think there's plenty of ways to skin that cat. You know what I'm saying, in regards to addressing the wide receiver. I think the wide receiver overall is not a dire need. You know what I'm saying? I think we can address when you look at the hierarchy of needs. I think wide receiver is definitely a need, but I think it's a little further down the list. Just because we have a lot of things already set. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me right now who's our starters, you look at Devontae Adams, you look at Jacoby Myers, and you look at Trey Tucker, you know what I'm saying, out there at the same time. But what we are not looking at also is that with Getsy is from, it seems like Getsy's going to be leaning more towards Devontae playing in the slot. So we actually need someone to be on the outside. Now, what I would do, you know what I'm saying, and this is where, there's multiple ways to skin the cat in regards to wide receiver. I would actually go ahead and look for that X wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? That number one wide receiver, I would actually go for that. And the reason why is because you can put him on the outside. You know what I'm saying? Here and there. He doesn't have to be out there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because now you have 4 people that you can alternate with, right? If it's like a 3 wide receiver set, right? Mm-hmm. You can alternate because you have 4 guys. And because he's on the outside, he can mature at being the number one, eventually being the number one, because, like you said, we don't know what's going to happen with Jacoby Myers in about a year or two. We don't know if he's going to want to be here. We don't know if he's going to, go somewhere else and get his bag. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I don't think Telesco's going to give the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like extra give the bag. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give Jacoby what he's worth, but he ain't going to go beyond that. So if Jacoby decides to go get the bag, we've already had this wide receiver that we've already drafted, you know what I'm saying, coming in his second or third year, and he's ready to go opposite of Devontae Adams. Mm-hmm. So having that, that mindset of drafting, kind of even drafting a little bit ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really need, right now, you would say, oh, we don't need that number one receiver on the outside. But what happens when Devontae slides to the inside, and now you need someone to play on a big body to play on the outside? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody. And then also, what happens if Jacoby says, hey, I'm going to the Jaguars, because the Jaguars seem like they want to give everybody the Brinks truck. So I'm gonna go over there and catch balls from Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, we already got our sophomore, and we're gonna slide him over, and go about it that way. And of course, he can still have speed. It's not like you need, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that number one doesn't, you can still address an XY receiver that has speed. Mm-hmm. But I would do that. I wouldn't really specifically look for like a gadgety Trey Tucker type of guy for that position, just because again he would fill multiple roles by that. Yeah. Linebacker, I know you talked about linebacker in the draft. In the later rounds is actually where I'm seeing you can get some linebackers. There's Omar Spates. I'm bad at colleges.
LSU.
LSU. Tommy Eichenberg is also another big guy that I like in the later rounds. And those guys can get it done for us, especially with what we're needing him to do. We're not looking for right now an all-pro linebacker because we already our linebackers, our starter linebackers are pretty much set. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, you know what I'm saying, hey, if one of them can be an all-pro, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But
Diablo, he's every season it seems like he's battling injuries. So that's the only reason we kind of keep bringing that up with the linebackers, is because it seems like we always are it's tight in that LB room.
Yeah, exactly. And again, when you and the way I do it, my barometer is, you look at the starters and then who you think is going to come behind that. And if you have an ounce of a question mark in regards to that person, then you need to feel that, you need to address, look at seeing how you can make that stronger. And for me, Masterson has an ounce of a question mark, and Bernie for me has a question mark. And it's because, especially for Bernie, he's a rookie, and also we haven't really seen much of him. So, that's where the question mark for me comes from in regards to what he can bring to the table at linebacker. But until we bring in somebody or have somebody that can step up and do that, those are question marks, and definitely it needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I'm glad we didn't kind of spend our load that early, because we were anxious. Everybody, we wanted us to just sign everybody. And like, the thing that if we don't think about a lot of the time is teams are going to still let people go. People are still going to get cut. They still got those June cuts coming out. So it's like there's a lot of players that are going to be pretty much looking for teams. Like, and it's gonna, you know, so we can still add to the team and make everything, you know, a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So, and then at least we know one position we don't have to, you know, ever worry about besides, you know, kicker and punter. But the DT room is finished finally. Finally, I mean, we could be greedy and add something because I do like that dude Braden Fisk, and I do like Murphy. So you know, I could,
I think we will, but go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say I could see us because you know the edge thing too, like you know, yeah, Malcolm Kuntz on that other side too, and then you know we do have Tyree, but I could see the possibility of us do, you know, grabbing another edge guy to either compete or, you know, even be better than Kuntz. So that's pretty much the goal. It's always, you know, it's like, yeah, we got somebody on the other side, but if we have a chance to upgrade that position, let's do it. You know, like I understand we're going a little cheaper by these younger contracts and stuff like that, but the goal is to get our team better, get our team to where we need to be.
When looking at the draft, and this is where the draft lies, you know what I'm saying, in regards to D tackles, again, there is a lot
Mm-hmm.
of good guys that we can get, and it, you know, not high, you know what I'm saying? Like we can do that too,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of guys that I think in the later rounds, the fourth and fifth round, the sixth round, that can come in here and actually be a contributor on our D line. And in reality, we need to get younger at our D line. You know what I'm saying? As much as I love John Jenkins, and those that have been following me, I do a show called Who Ate the Brown Crackers. And I know John Jenkins was definitely a few, you know, he ate a few of the brown crackers. You know what I'm saying? He ate brown crackers a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, eventually we got to move on from him.
Mm-hmm.
And when we move on from them, we need to have that rookie, you know what I'm saying? Or that second year guy that's ready to take the reins. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And yeah, eventually we need to move on from John Jenkins. And eventually we need to move on, you know, as much as I like him, you know, there might at some point we're gonna have to move on from Adam Butler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who do we bring in? And who's going to step up. So I would love to look at what we do D line wise, because I think there's going to be some value in the end of, you know, at the bottom half of
Mm-hmm.
the draft. I think
Mm-hmm.
there will be some value at D tackle and DN. So I think we will, um, you know, address that.
Yeah. Our first four picks are crucial of how we go. You know, that's why like us trading up would have killed us. You know what I mean? Just everything we would have had to give up because
Mm,
there's a system to getting us better. You know what I mean? It's like we only need the other side. Like I really do believe that. I believe because we got the Max Crosby, you know, on the other side we got Malcolm Kuntz. So of course we want if there's somebody that has the potential to be better, then we need to fill that side because we know Max is gonna play all day. He ain't gonna come out the game, so we know that side is a lock. But we need that lock on the other side because that's the thing. We need a complete team. If we're gonna be a playoff team, we need to be able to compete. And it's like we can't just have one good corner. The last time we went to the playoffs is when we had an OG corner come in. We had Hayward come in, and Hayward was able to help our guys like Nate, Trevor Morg, all these guys that were Amik when they were in that DB room, and show them what it was to be a pro. So I agree with the Stephon Gilmore. Like I feel like we do need that OG because I mean Seawood was an OG at one time. You know what I
mm.
mean? You know we need that type of player. I
And oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
No, and just adding on to what you're saying is we were stretched out. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And we saw that. Anytime, and I'll say this, anytime we're moving Nate Hobbs to the outside, we're stretched out.
Yes.
Because Nate Hobbs is I hey, look, I'm gonna say he's one of the best nickel corners in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And anytime you move him to the outside, we're stretched out. And That's why we need to build this team so that Nate Hobbs can thrive, and I mean thrive,
Mm-hmm.
where he's actually good, really good at. Now, can he play outside? Yes, he can play outside. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he can't play outside at all, but his bread and butter, you know what I'm saying, is right there in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we need to solidify everything around him so he don't have to feel like he need to, you know what I'm saying, go out there on the outside. You know, so I'm with adding corner. You know what I'm saying, and Gilmore for me, he gets my vote. Tre'Davious White gets my vote. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. You know, I look if there was some way, you know, I'm throwing this out here. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some people thought about it, but I don't know if anybody really said it. If we want to throw a third, you know what I'm saying, or some change over to Miami and go ahead and get Ramsey.
Oh man,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm all for it.
He was already tweeting about Max Crosby and Wilkins. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He can come on over here too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
did you
definitely fit the vibe.
did you see him last year, like against us? He was coming, coming back from injury too. He was diving, making them, like I called it last week, the Madden interceptions. Like it was crazy. I would definitely trade a pick for him. I don't know money wise how that would do us, but I know it wouldn't do us harm. It would just be similar to the effect of Devontae Adams coming. You know what I mean? We know, okay, we ain't got to worry. We know he's gonna do what he does. You know what I'm saying? So I like Ramsey's play. I've always liked him as a DB, like his fire, his just like he's a I don't know. It's not. I'm not gonna say cocky because I like his confidence. Like
Mm.
he's a dog. Like he
It's,
does
it's,
it.
it's a definite swagger that he has, and
Mm-hmm.
that swagger definitely, you know what I'm saying, when you think about what would fit our team, think about Jack Jones and Ramsey both
Mm-hmm.
talking trash
Yeah.
on each side. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
and
Oh
we
man.
we got a whole lot of trash talkers this year. You know what I'm saying? Already. So just adding that to the room, because Christian Wilkins talks a little trash. You know what I'm saying? We know Max Crosby. He talks that trash. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Little ass boy.
Little ass boy.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Jack Jones. He you know Coach AP had to pull his coat a few times because Jack Jones was, you know what I'm saying, talking a little more than AP, a little more than AP was comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? So we got some trash talkers. Minshew, he talks some trash too. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he definitely would fit the vibe here. So I would not be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Bringing somebody over here like that. Because that would help out a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? You can almost put Ramsey on the island and you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and let it run. And Jack Jones is one of the best when it comes to film. You know what I'm saying? That's why Jack Jones was able to, get the pick six and all of that. That's all film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He read that from film and trusted his eyes and made the play. So we know that he'll be ready for whatever in regards to that. So there's some options there. And again, I think the positive that we have is we actually have the picks and we actually have the money. You know what I'm saying? And especially with having the June 1st, Jimmy Garoppolo stuff, him popping pills, situation, that's going to open up a whole lot of money June 1st. So, hey, you never know. We might even spring, a trade even, then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Bennett does, man, because that's gonna be pretty much the deciding factor of how big of a need DB is. But like I see how they let Meek go, which I felt like was I'm not saying he was a star, but he did his job. He did his part. And so anybody that we get now has to be better than Amik. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Mm,
hopefully starter, because Amik was like what, our fourth or fifth DB. And then so now we need to get that, because if Bennett, see, I was watching kind of some more of Bennett's game, not just from this season, but just like in his career, just how he played the game. And
mm,
he is very aggressive. Like, I think this year he was feeling out. Okay. I'm gonna say I'm hoping. Because I'm gonna still pull for the kid, man, because I feel like he was still trying to figure things out. He was put in a tough situation too. I'm not gonna make excuses for him, but we have to look at it. It is what it is. He was kind of put in a situation where we didn't have a set number one at that time. You know what I mean? Like, we just got Marcus Peters, um, and we were kind of, I don't know. It just wasn't a good situation for him to be in, because it did put a lot of pressure on him to be, play bigger than he was as a rookie too. So I'm hoping he can come back to that form, because he does have the speed. He has good recovery speed. He does play aggressive. I like he is spunky though. He's got a little edge to him.
mm.
So I'm hoping. Then that's why I say, like, if he could, at worst case, just fill in for where a Meek spot was. Help out Nate in the slot. Help out.
I was gonna say that thing. If 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 Bennett could be the Amik,
Hmm.
I think that's his place,
Yeah.
and um I think he'll be fine with that role too. Amik. I'll say this about Amik. I'm not mad at Amik at all.
Mm-mm.
Um, Amik went to go get the bag.
Yeah. He
You know what I'm
deserves it.
saying? And he wasn't going to get the bag here.
Mm-mm.
He was not going to get the bag here. Two things. Two things. I'll say this about Amik
Mm-mm.
in that situation. He went to go get the bag, which we were not going to give him. The second thing was he went to go be a starter, and that was something that he was not going to be here.
Mm-mm.
So because of that, I can't be mad at dude. He has the option. He's getting the bag over there at Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also going to be he's actually going to, because their corners, they really ain't got too many corners over there, to be honest with you. So Amik is definitely going to be in competition to walk into a starter job, which may even extend his bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at him. And if you ask me, what team would Amik fit with if it wasn't the Raiders? Detroit.
Yeah. I don't know why I felt like that was a perfect fit for him too, because I was
Perfect.
like, that's cool, man.
Because
He's out. He's out the way, and we ain't got to worry about him. But it's
that
good
too.
place.
But he's similar. The Detroit Lions are similar to what the Raiders are in regards to mentality, grit, and it all starts with their head coach. You know what I'm saying? Dan Campbell ain't. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had my little studio set up, because I have a clip of what Dan Campbell said in his introductory press conference. You guys can go, you know what I'm saying, Google that for yourselves. But yeah, it's another gritty, grindy team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Something that we're trying to create here. And Amik is definitely going to fit that locker room. So, good luck to him. Definitely. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad at him for getting the bag and also trying to be a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like that's kind of a good sign, because maybe they know, because I mean, if they wanted him to stay, they would have kept him. But I feel like they felt confident, and whoever's coming up behind him. Because if I'm not mistaken, we still got Sam Webb, right? Still too.
We gotta, honestly, I
I,
don't think I gotta look dive. I gotta look deep dive into the corner room. I know Tyler Hall is gone. Amik is
yeah,
gone.
Tyler Hall. Yeah, Tyler Hall's gone. So I know we're gonna need, at worst, some depth. And then like in fact, let me go back to it. We're talking about Mitchell cuz I like Mitchell too. I hope somebody doesn't snake us cuz I would definitely go either that route or I still like Wiggins. I still like Nate Wiggins. I don't know if you've seen this game, but I
At
like
13?
well cuz he's going to be gone anywhere after that. So yeah, I mean, you would have to get him cuz he was at like 13, 16 and I think now he's like at about maybe 20 right now. So yeah, he'll definitely be gone. Yeah, if we don't get him at 13. But I'm good either way. Like if we get Mitchell, cool. If we get Arnold, cool. If we get Nate, super cool. You know what I mean? But he's just one of my favorites. Like I like his game. I think he's universal.
Yeah.
But the tackle thing too, I just feel like the tackle really wouldn't help us this year. I think we could develop him, but I think Mumford's probably still going to get the start on that right side.
You think so?
I feel so because he showed really last year that he could do it. And I feel like that's why they let Illuminor go. They're like, okay, well, we gave him enough, a couple years to develop. Shout to Gruden and them too, because Amik was one of his, Nate one of his, Max one of theirs. You know what I mean? Like they found some good pieces. They weren't the best. They weren't the flashiest and all this kind of stuff. But those Gruden grinders, man, like he had an eye for that dog. You know what I mean? So it wasn't always the best decisions, but he did. I did see what he's seen in those players. So Nate, if you watch Nate's tape in college, Nate was a monster. Like just for his size and just what he was able to do, like he was not to be played with. So we just need to find because I feel like that's what we have to do. Like because I always look at everything is stopping Mahomes because we're gonna have to beat them 3 times. Give it, pretty much to go where we want to go. To get to the Super Bowl, we're gonna have to beat them at least 3 times. So twice in the season, once in the postseason. So we have to, the thing about how we fixed our D line, now we got that power pressure to him. So what's that going to do? Force him to Max, or it's going to force him to Kuntz, or whoever's on that other side. So we have to, and see that's the thing. We have the speed rush on that outside with Max and with Kuntz. They're more speed rushers than power rushers, I feel. And so it's the perfect combination. And so now we need those DBs to allow him to have to keep running. You know what I mean? Where he can't throw it, like have it locked down. That's why the Ramsey thing, I think we've made worse decisions in our past. And we can make that and that would be positive for us.
Mm.
Now that's something I would trade for right there. I know someone said earlier, about pulling the trigger on trading up. How do you feel about the trade up?
It depends on who falls. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? When you talking about trading up, just where it's set right now,
Mm-hmm.
the price is way too high. I
Mm-hmm.
love I love Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying? That's who if the world would shift and turn into silver and black, it would be, what I'm saying, Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
But the price is going to be way too high to go get him. And I'm more in the mode of staying put unless he falls to where the price is feasible. And I think that's where Telesco is. I think that's why Telesco, when you look at where the roster is now, you can kind of roll with who we got
Mm-hmm.
outside a corner.
Yeah.
I think. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can skate by again with this offensive line. There's some guys there.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that they're the best,
Yeah.
but there's some guys there. You know what I'm saying? Our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we brought Minshew in was for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't get a quarterback or if
Yeah.
AOC is not getting the playbook, you know what I'm saying? Like we got some insurance there. So D line, insurance there. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So I I'm kind of more in the mode of, and I was talking to my brothers last night, I'm kind of even in the mode of trading back.
Me too.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
think more is more.
Trading back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying out of the first round.
Yeah.
Trade back to maybe 19,
Yeah. Just
early 20,
get that second, get that extra second or third round pick. That's what I want
because
that extra second or third.
what's going to happen, and I'm kind of seeing this. What's going to happen is there's going to be a slide of guys that should be in the first round that are going to be in the second round. A lot of guys, because there's going to be teams that are going to reach up. There's always reaches, but definitely reaches at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to factor in an offensive lineman slid down to the second round, a wide receiver slid to the second round, the top linebacker might have slid to the second round. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of talent that has a first round grade on them in the
Mm-hmm.
a first round grade in the second round. So if we can double up in the second round, that might be an option to have three guys graded in the first round
Mm-hmm.
in the first two rounds.
And if we do that, we win the draft because we don't need that much, but we need to hit on those first three. I say at least, though, I say four. I'm gonna say these first four picks. We have to hit on these first four picks, and then after that, it's just depth pieces. After that, you know what I mean? We get our quarterback, we get our um, DB, we get our. I would say either guard, you know what I mean? That guard or that running back, or like I said, that speed wide receiver, whatever it is. Like we just need to hit on those on that other side. Let's fill these gaps. You know what I mean? Fill these gaps. And then linebacker, of course. We need to get maybe one more. But it just has to be starters. You know what I mean? We have to get because I feel I'm gonna just say three. The quarterback, the DB, and then after that, ooh, it's anywhere between that right guard, that I say linebacker for sure that I could think of right now. Maybe if there's a good tackle out there, yeah. But yeah, that would be my first four of just getting those taken care of. Because after that, like, because the quarterback thing, I think we're okay for this year. You know, it's not the best, it's not the not the flashiest names and stuff like that, but I feel like with what we're putting together with the defense, that I think we can get by. But that's the thing, we have to score points because that's where we struggled last year. So that's why I'm saying adding speed won't hurt. So I feel honestly, I feel a speed has to be added either through the running back situation too. I know we're doing the by committee, but I still feel like we still need another. We still need to invest in that position too. Not invest, but draft a running back, draft a wide receiver, draft a DB, draft our quarterback, and then get that line some depth, that guard, and that another tackle. Because Wagner, I thought Wagner was going to be, but I've been hearing a lot of negative stuff about Wagner and like the injuries and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the line will open up everything for our team. As I always say, like if we can get that line fixed, we can run the ball better. Madison was and see that's the thing. I don't want to be negative because it seems like the last couple of weeks we've been really negative on everybody we bring in. Like, they're not going to be us. It's like we gotta. This
Mm-hmm.
is our team. This is our, as they come to us, man, we gotta embrace them. We can't be focused on the negatives and how they did. You know what I mean? They're Raiders now. It's a new day, and we've seen because everybody remember when we brought Hayward in. They're like, "Oh, he's old, man. He's not going to be able to do." And man, he helped us get to the playoffs. He was just one of the players that was on that team that really helped us get to the playoffs. So it's like age and all that kind of stuff, man. Like we just want football players that can help this team. And if they're willing to come to us, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't like us. A lot of people wouldn't play for us. But if they're willing to take, to go through what you got to go through to be a Raider, you know what I mean? Then, hey, welcome. Welcome. What can you do for this team? You know what I mean? How can you help us? How can you help us get better? And we've seen them all come in. We've seen them all go. We've seen, that's why I like at least the Adam Butlers and John Jenkins, they played well and we kept them. So it's not just like we're just spinning our wheels, getting these free agents and then letting them go to other teams. We actually kept some people that were successful for us. So that's a good start already. We are headed in a good direction already.
Yeah, we definitely need to create that solid competition in offensive line, and that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards looking at offensive line. Even in the draft, Wagner has been around us. You know what I'm saying, and he's a huge body. He's a huge specimen, but he's been dealing with injury throughout his career. So I'm not knocking him completely on that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we'll have to see what he does. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys that we're talking about, and a lot of these guys that are currently here, a lot of those guys were depth. You know what I'm saying? They were depth for us. So obviously, that could be an indicator that either they improved or they're still depth. You know what I'm saying? And we're about to go out there with debt pieces. You know what I'm saying? Week one. I don't know. I don't know about that. So until we really solidify this roster, you know what I'm saying? Where Illuminor wasn't, you know what I'm saying? We had Illuminor last year. Why? Because there wasn't a right tackle that was really clearly, you know what I'm saying, clearly whooping butt. You know what I'm saying? If there was a right tackle that was clearly whipping butt in practice, Illuminor wouldn't have been out there, but he was. So you we got to also put that in perspective. Yeah, I'm hopeful for Thayer Munford. I really am. You know what I'm saying? I think Munford deserves a shot at a starting gig, but he needs some competition. I don't feel okay just letting him walk up to one of the starting spots.
If we had kept Illuminor, would you have been kind of a little bit more, or would you still want us to kind of go another
Man, we should
direction?
have got rid of Illuminor. I'm tired of Illuminor. Don't get me started on Illuminor. Panties on the ground every week. You know what I'm saying? Hey, panties on the ground, for those that don't know, I know that I'm on another channel. You know what I'm saying? Panties on the ground is when the referee throws a flag.
Mhm.
So I'm tired of seeing panties on the ground and everybody. It's almost a no brainer. We're on offense. Boop, panties on the ground. I don't even know. I don't even have to look at who it is because I already know who it is. I'm already saying it, dang Illuminor. As soon as I see the panties on the ground, and guess what? It's Illuminor. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Can't keep his hands off people. Just want to hold them and caress them. You know
Can't
what I'm
keep
saying?
my
Longer
hands
than they
to
should.
myself. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? So, yeah, it was time for Illuminor to go. He did the
Yeah.
best he could. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there is versatility with Illuminor, but I'm just tired of seeing panties on the ground because of Illuminor. And we again that there goes that what we were talking about of what's next, right?
Hmm.
We need to have enough people behind whoever the starter is to where if they do mess up, hey, the dude right behind you is right and ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we need that. We definitely need that. Because
Yeah.
and I'll say this: if we solidify our offensive line, like really solidify it, it really don't matter who we have at quarterback.
Yeah.
People are gonna go, oh my god, I'm talking about just a basic competent quarterback. You can have Aiden O'Connell, and we know what Aiden O'Connell can do. You know what I'm saying? You just get a basic functioning quarterback, and he'll get the job done. You know what I'm saying? If that offensive line is sitting there and not letting nobody get through. You know what I'm saying? So if we solidify the offensive line, the quarterback situation. Of course, yes, we would love to have the future Patrick Mahomes or whatever you want to call it, Josh Allen, saying whatever. But yeah, we need to solidify that offensive line. That's the stir that actually stir. That's the straw that stirs the drink in regards to our offense. Our offense is going to be predicated on how this offensive line runs. Josh Jacobs, you know what I'm saying? The reason why we all love Josh Jacobs was because Josh Jacobs was pulling magic out of his hat with this offensive line in front of him. When you look at how many times he got the ball and the D lineman was right there in front of his face, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even have time to do a cut. You know what I'm saying? It, that that was on the offensive line. And if we could solidify that, then our offense will run and do what it needs to do.
Damn, if Jaden Daniels is, you know, Lamar Jackson 2.0, that would be crazy. That would be wild. Cause like how we fixed our line, cause that's why earlier I wasn't trying to trade up because I felt like we just had too many holes. But with us fixing that D line, and like I said, if we could add maybe just like I don't know if is Howard still available from Miami, Xavier Howard,
I
or
believe
did
so.
he go? I was gonna say because that was one of the guys I think can still do the job, can still kind of help us out. At worst case, him. And then you know, there was talks about Jair Alexander. I didn't really like the Trey White because of the injuries he was coming off of, the Achilles, and he had the ACL, you know, back to back. So it's like I don't, you know, I would rather us stay healthy. Like I think Holly said that too. Just stay, you know, stay on the healthy side. But I because we would have to think we would be pretty much rocking the team that we have right now if we trade up because we wouldn't really be able to add any. It would be pretty much depth pieces, you know. And we would just hope that everybody that we need to step up on that other side, that this was a career year for them. But trading up, if he is that guy, what's your take on Jaden Daniels?
I like Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is definitely a fit. He would fit the locker room. He would be a guy that um you know something that we always would, that a lot of us were talking about, a guy that can get out there, you know what I'm saying, out of the pocket and make something happen. Um, I love Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Some people want to knock him for his size, but how many quarterbacks came in, you know what I'm saying, and were concerns of size. Russell Wilson was a guy concerned of size. Drew Brees was a guy that was concerned of size. You know what I'm saying? I think Bryce Young is actually a really good quarterback. Believe it or not, he just needs an offensive line. If he
Mm-hmm.
actually had an offensive line and didn't have to run for his life last year, I think
Mm-hmm.
we would have saw him, on the trail that we saw, kind of what we saw of Stroud. You know what I'm saying? I think, I'm not saying that Bryce Young and Bryce Young is CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud is his own guy, but you know, I think Bryce Young is actually a better quarterback than what we saw of him last year. And a lot of it, when you look at their tape, it was because of that offensive line not blocking for anything. Um, so um, I'm not concerned about that. I'm really not.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see, you know, because I think this draft is going to be crazy. Like how everyone has it kind of set. There's going to be a shakeup. Somebody's going to slide, and I think somebody's going to land in our lap. You know what I mean? I think it's going to happen because I feel like there's a lot of people that were, you know, they had them going later, but now they have like JJ McCarthy. They have
Mhm.
him kind of going a little bit sooner. I don't know if that's just pre, you know, and it seems like every draft is it. Someone gets pushed to that top three, like you know, the last couple
Last minute,
weeks. Yeah, like last minute. Because remember we seen that with
it's a
Levis.
switch.
Levis rose kind of last year, like because remember we were like, oh no, nobody's gonna take Levis, and then all of a sudden they were hyping him up. Or, you know, it's like there's this hype that builds right before the draft. So
It's a switch.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the guy that rises, but there's always one drops,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I'm still waiting on it. I'm still waiting on the report because okay, I'll explain it like this. There was one year where a guy was supposed to be projected in the first round, but then there was a video released of him smoking with a gas mask,
Oh, not with the gas mask.
and it was like the day before the draft or the day of the draft,
Ooh.
and his stock just went. I forgot where he ended up going, but it was out of the first round.
Yeah, I remember that too. I want to
You know
say
what
it
I'm
was
saying? So
bit
there's
the
always somebody in the draft that something comes out on them, and then there happens every year.
yeah. Yeah, that's why it's tough, man. Like, cause I do want us to stop this quarterback search, and then us getting that quarterback would at least give us 5 years to, you know what I mean, not be worried about the quarterback
Mhm.
position. And and then there's the other needs. You know what I mean? It's like we want to stay relevant. We want to compete. And like I was saying last week, we're ahead of the Broncos. We're ahead of the Chargers. They're dismantling themselves. So it's just us and KC for this AFC West. And we just have to keep stacking our team. While they're breaking their team up, we need to keep building our team up. So we can just keep dominate, keep them where they're at. And just be able to compete with KC. And that's what it is. It's building. We've built a line that can definitely get after him. So now we just have to get the linebackers behind it, because the linebacker, believe it or not, is a huge need for us. Because yeah, we have Mastersons, we have Spillane. We need another Spillane brought in that can have that impact like he did. For Spillane, I think this is a contract year, because I think this is his last year under this contract. So he's gonna have the opportunity pretty much to ball again this year, hopefully, if he wants another contract. So it's kind of a win-win for us, because it's either he plays good and he earns another contract, or he plays good for that contract and somebody else snatches him up next year. So I mean, either way, we get a good player out of him this year for sure again.
I think with Spillane, um, he's one of those guys. I think he actually finds Raiders to be home.
I hope so.
And especially like the only reason why he will leave is for the bag. You know what I'm saying? If someone just threw amazing amount of dollars at him, but he's a starter for us. You know what I'm saying? He's actually he's the captain, you know what I'm saying, in regards to, having the green dot, you know what I'm saying, of our defense. So there's really not much, there's not much that a team can really pull at him besides the dollar amount. Now, I don't think to let, when it comes to contract negotiations, I don't think Telesco would lowball him when it's time to, you know, he'll give him a starter linebacker salary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But he ain't gonna throw an extra 10 million at him. That ain't gonna happen. So, but I think Spillane's comfortable. I think he's
Yeah,
comfortable.
and then
So
he played with the broken. I think he missed like one game, but I think he played for the most part with that broken hand too, and got it picked too while he was in the cast. So I definitely like him. I would love for him to stay. I would love for him. He fits us. He's like a baby Romanowski. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in there. And like that's why I say we just need to, because I mean we look at Diablo, who knows how many games until he goes down. But and like I said, I want to be more positive, but I mean, you look at the past and you start to see a pattern. So we definitely I like to do the Eckenberg too from Ohio State too. I like his game. And I think he would be a fit too to pair well with Spillane. I think that they're cut from
similar.
that same, yeah, they're cut from that same cloth.
Mm.
So Oh, someone made a good point too. Tony always coming through in the clutch. Appreciate you. We still have DJ Fluker on the roster also, as you know. I know it's not flashy, not but it's depth. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if Wagner, because who said that earlier? If Wagner was healthy, forgive me, I lost the comment, but yeah, they said if Wagner, yeah, here we go. When Wagner's healthy, shout to Raider Rebel Unleashed. Dawson Wagner, when healthy, is a number one right tackle all day. So if he could stay healthy, that's a good thing. That means we'll be solid, and that'll be one less pick that we have to do. Because you know you're right. You and Tony, you got Wagner, and you got DJ Fluker to have Mumford's back. So
And those guys are question marks.
yeah,
You know what I'm
because
saying? And that's where, like,
yeah,
going back to my metric. You know what I'm saying? If you have a question mark in regards to those guys,
you have a
you need to look at building it out. You know what
like
I'm
I
saying?
said.
And that's and I like DJ Fluker too. He's another big lineman. But
Mhm,
guess what? Injuries. You know what I'm saying? That's the question mark.
mhm.
So can they stay healthy? That's the question. So, it's competition, but we definitely got to build it out.
Yeah, I when we brought Mumford in, I liked Mumford's play. Like I've been a Mumford fan, so it's kind of a little biased, but I like him. He was a big. I just like he was a specimen itself. Like he was a big cat, and I just he was a seventh rounder, I believe. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But we were able to get him, and he slid a little bit too. So really, that was kind of a steal. Like wait. But yeah, I definitely because I have the confidence in him that he can do it. But the key is if he can stay healthy. And so hopefully he can do that. But at least we know we do have somebody that's done it before with DJ Fluker. Wagner, we're gonna see. We're gonna just let him develop. So that's why I think DB quarterback are our number one, or I'll say well, either way, because I like I said, we could roll with Minshew, we could roll with AOC, because either way, I would be okay either way. If they started Minshew wasn't getting it done. If they go to AOC, I'm good with that. Or if we start AOC ain't getting it done, we go to Minshew, I'm okay with that. Because I feel like I don't know, it's weird because either way, I can see them coming. Either of them, or I can see both of them coming in and being able to carry. Like to keep us going. But we need. I would say I need us to get that quarterback though. This year, we definitely need to get this going because as we're building, especially as we're building this defense, this is a hot time to get our quarterback right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to take us a few years to identify who that quarterback is, especially this year. I think the price is way too high to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and get that, the top to get up into the top bracket of quarterbacks. Um, and we're gonna have to figure it out. It's gonna be a competition this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with, and I've said it and people killed me for it, but I'm fine with, rolling with Minshew and um AOC. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with that. Um, but definitely we need to be from now moving forward, we got to be in the hunt of taking that shot at quarterback until we get that guy. And that's just how the NFL is. You know what I'm saying? When you start looking at the other teams, they don't just they don't just draft one quarterback and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like they draft one quarterback. All right, I think he might not be the one. Let's go ahead and draft another one next year. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you got to do. And then when you find that guy, then you can, use the other guys that you brought in that you kept, and they could be your depth. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so similar situation we do right now, and hear me out on this. We already got AOC under cheap labor. Cheap labor, for those that don't understand what I'm saying, cheap labor is what I call a rookie contract. Okay, AOC is under cheap labor. Okay, Minshew is a vet. We draft a quarterback. Let's say we draft him in the third round, second round, right? Now we have two rookie quarterbacks, two guys under rookie, two guys under cheap labor, and a vet. Next year, since we already addressed our offensive line, since we addressed our cornerback, since we addressed our tight end, since we already addressed our linebacker, since we already got our team already pretty much filled out, now we can really F those picks. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and take a shot at whoever the top person is. I like Shador. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal. But, you know what I'm saying? And I'll just say Shador. So we'll go get Shador. Okay? He becomes our starter. Right? Guess who's his backup? AOC still here.
AOC.
Guess what? Who's our emergency? Minshew. Another quarterback that we drafted under cheap labor. So how expensive is our quarterback room at that time?
Cheap.
Super cheap. What do you do with that money? Oh, there's a top so-and-so coming out. Oh, you're talking about that real good player over there? He's pissed off with his coach. Well, hey, come on over here. We got the money because we ain't spending it on our quarterback. Because we got all of our quarterback room is all under cheap labor, which is a rookie contract. That's where we need to be.
Yeah.
Why? And you want to talk about the Chiefs? Why was Patrick Mahomes successful for the years that he went on a Super Bowl run? Because until this year, you know what I'm saying? All the other years, he was under a rookie contract. So they were able to spend money on other things and bring in other guys and solidify his offensive line and do everything else. So if we can get that, and we're if they make these moves that I'm talking about, these are doable moves, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, we're not reaching up for a number one quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully not reaching up for a number one quarterback this year, really to get spending too much on that. But if we do what we do this year, Minshew can leave next year. We bring in another guy. We got 3 quarterbacks now because we going to draft that last one, you know what I'm saying, next year. And again, do the experiment again. If it doesn't work, you know what I'm saying, we'll continue to draft a quarterback until we find out. Figure it out. If Shador doesn't work out, then I guess he'll be a backup for his 4 years that we drafted him. Unless somebody wants to give us some capital, you know what I'm saying? Because, hey, if the price is right, everybody's a suspect to get traded.
Yeah.
Besides Max Crosby.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the only person that's safe and knows he's got a permanent job. So shout to SoCal Sal, man. Appreciate you being here too. Rumor is Eagles looking to trade Hassan Reddick. Would you guys trade for him? Reddick on the last year of his contract.
The question would be, how much is he going to want? Mm-hmm. Because he's on the last year of his contract. Yes, you can do that for a 1-year rental, right? But you're going to want, someone to be here long term, mm-hmm. And especially like a Hassan Reddick, somebody of that, you know what I'm saying, of that caliber. You want someone to hear, want that more of a long-term situation. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on what the dollar amount is that he's going to be asking after we slide them those picks or pick. That would be my question mark on that. But do I like him as a player? Of course.
Yep. And then shout to Tony, man. Salute. Heard about Saints. Heard the Saints may be trading for or trading Lattimore, Marshawn Lattimore.
Okay.
That he's a good, very good corner. I don't know how pricey that would be. If they're gonna cover the remaining of that contract or split it or whatever we do. But yeah, that would definitely be a good upgrade. On that other side, him, Jack Jones, Nate. Oh my goodness, we shutting it down.
And
But yeah,
we also need to factor that um as much as we want that number one corner that we can leave on an island, et cetera, I don't think we necessarily need
mm-hmm.
that type of corner. Now, do we need a starter? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the way that this D line is running
Yeah,
and going to run, you know what I'm saying? You can throw, like I said, you can throw a Gilmore out there or a Lattimore that
mm-hmm.
may have had better years, you know what I'm saying, in their earlier days, and maybe have lost a step here a little bit, but still can be functionable with
Yeah,
us. You know what I'm saying? Gilmore, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Gilmore, like I said earlier, Gilmore's not a guy where he's like he was when he was with the Patriots, but
mm-hmm.
he still can get the job done. And I think
Yeah,
that's what we need right now. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Um, of course, we can swing at corners in the draft, and hopefully one of those pan out to be a number one, because those are always surprises. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You draft a corner in the fourth round, and he becomes an island. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But that's definitely right now where we are roster wise. I think we need to um, get that vet and swing in the draft.
Yep. And so last year, well, before this, last year started, I hadn't lost faith in Trevor Merrick, and Merrick this year was way better. He bounced back. I didn't give up then on Diablo. Diablo, when he was in the game, was solid, but like I said, the injury. So there was he was able to step up. I'm hoping the same for Bennett. I'm hoping the same for dang, there was someone I was thinking of.
Byron Young.
Yeah, Byron Young. He's one of the people I definitely want to see. Either him or Nesta. I want to see just them kind of show us something. And like I said, that'll just help us in the long run because we don't have to focus on DT no more. But
Nesta Nesta's in a tough situation.
mhm,
He right now, the way I'm looking at it is he's possibly the third of
mhm,
his caliber
yeah,
at D tackle.
yeah,
You have John Jenkins, who's
mhm,
going to be, I think he's going to be actually the focal starter
mhm,
of that bracket of D tackles, because there's
yeah,
there's there's classes of D tackles. You have your big body D tackles, you have your kind of speed
right,
rusher D tackles, and then you kind of
mhm,
have guys that are a little bit of both in between, and that's kind of
mhm,
like Adam Butler to me. But you have John Jenkins, Marquand McCall,
mhm,
and then you have Nesta Jade. So he's our third of that big body nose ish D
right,
tackle. So he's gonna have some tough sledding.
yeah,
Um, I foresee him being on the bubble. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm not gonna say he's getting cut, but he's definitely gonna be on the bubble.
The practice squad, kind of one of
Yeah.
the practice squad guys. He's a beast though. Like that's one thing. Like
No, I
he
like
he
he.
got a lot of double teams when he was in college. That's why I think he's gonna be a space eater at the very least. Like,
Yeah.
and he does have quick feet for what I mean for being a big guy like that too.
Mhm.
So like I definitely want to see him do well and get a shot too. Or at very worst case, we trade him to a team that's looking for that type of player so we get something, we
Get some
definitely get
value
some.
for it, because
Yeah,
hey, we got him in the seventh round. So if we can get, you know what I'm saying, if we can get a six, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying, off of seven, we
Mhm.
upgraded. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
a
and
win.
and as much as I like Nesta. Nesta was one of my favorites coming out of the draft.
Mhm.
Looking at who we got. Um, But again, um, that might be a situation where um, if Nesta steps up and balls out,
Hmm.
then somewhere down the line, of course, we'll keep Nesta here, and then that will be allowing John Jenkins to you know make his exit.
Yeah, and we and for this reason, that's why I say, like Tony said it. We are fully planning and expecting to play FKC 3 times next season. That's what I'm saying. It has to be. We're gonna have to make it through them to get to where we're trying to go. And just know when that victory happens, when we beat them on our way to the Super Bowl, no sweeter victory than that one that comes right after that one. You know what I mean? Because it's like that is the bar. They are going for 3 straight. So guess what? Our job next year is to make sure that that does not happen. You know what I mean? That is our sole mission, is to make sure that we get there before they do. So we know who's their biggest piece to how they get there. So we're gonna let the chips and the quarterbacks fall where they lay. It's gonna be a great season, man. Like Twan, I appreciate having you on, man. I wanted to leave you a section two to kind of talk about what you got going on, and tell the nation what you got going on for this future.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you having me. I stay active, y'all. This past week, I did a live Tuesday, I did a live Wednesday, I did a live Thursday, 2 for 1 Nation podcast. And that's every Thursday. I do 2 for 1 Nation podcast with my brother Eric from the SC Raiders Talk. We do that Thursdays at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30 Eastern Time. So definitely come on in, get active. Raider Twan is the channel. The congregation is the chat. Okay, so definitely you want to join the congregation. I talked about it earlier. I usually go live. My main times that I go live, Tuesdays and Thursdays for sure. I go live, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying, it fluctuates. I've been doing Wednesday evenings. Um, but catch the replay. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to catch me live all the time. You can catch me on replay, and also put your comments there. You know what I'm saying? If you got a take, if you have a question, I read those and I respond. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry if you're watching it on the replay. Go ahead and shoot your thought. You know what I'm saying? And um I will acknowledge or have something to say or answer your question there. So I am on the march to 500 subscribers. I've said it on many of channels, but come on over to Raider Twan. If we get to 500 subscribers by week 1, that's the goal. Um, a lucky subscriber will win a pair of black Air Forces. So if you are a subscriber to the channel, um, you know what I'm saying, and if we hit that 500 mark, um, again, a lucky subscriber will get a pair of black Air Forces. So come on over, you know what I'm saying? Join the congregation. I do a format where I talk my piece, I talk my thoughts, and then I go to the chat and I let you guys talk your stuff too. And I call that Raider Gospel. So come on over and talk your Raider Gospel over at Raider Twan. And then also I also am an advocate for being an organ donor. So if you are interested in being an organ donor, all that information is all throughout my channel. You can look at it in all the descriptions of my videos and lives, or if you're live on my channel, there's ways that you can do that there. So yeah, it it pops up frequently on my channel. So definitely be an organ donor. And also, I am the chaplain of the NWA but I also consider myself the chaplain of the nation. So if you need prayer for whatever's going on with you in your life, hit me up on IG and I can be in prayer for whatever that is, whether it's a job situation, whether it's, a family member sick, whatever the situation may be. Saying realistically, don't be just saying, oh yeah, pray the Raiders, saying, get John Madden back. You know what I'm saying? Like, please don't. That ain't. Let's be realistic. But anything that you guys really need prayer for, hit me up on IG. And like I say all the time, your business is between me, you, and the Lord. I don't put your business out there in the street, so you don't have to worry about me running and telling everybody. Saying your personal business. Just hit me up, and then I can be in prayer for whatever that is going on in your life.
Damn, Twan, that's crazy because my first prayer was gonna be for to win the next Super Bowl, but I'm gonna keep
Hey,
that
I
to
mean, we can.
I keep
Hey,
that
you
to
can pray
myself.
for
My
that.
bad.
You can pray for that, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We can't pray for Tupac to come back. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying.
Damn, that was gonna be my second
You know what I'm
one.
saying. And there's some reports out there that say Tupac is chilling in Bahamas, but that's neither here or there. You know what I'm saying. But for
Man.
real.
Well, I appreciate having you on, man. It was a fire show, man. I appreciate you. Very good takes. We're headed in the right direction, nation. We are headed in the right direction. And either way we go now, I feel like we can afford to trade up right now. Before I was like trying to be conservative, but yeah, it's about that time. Let's go get our guy or whatever we do. I'm down, Raiders till we die. And whatever we do, man, I feel like we're headed in the right direction. We got the best leader that can take us to where we need to go. He's seen it. He's done it. He's a legend killer himself. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with the direction of our team. And it's only going to get better in these next couple of weeks. So we got going to have a lot of roster moves and everything going on. And I'm not done for today. You know what I'm saying? We got Raider Rundown 6 o'clock tonight, man. We had Twuan in the morning, blessed us in the morning, and we're gonna have Raider Rundown at nighttime. So we got turf tomorrow. So we got a fun weekend for everybody. So definitely tune in to my guy, Raider Twuan. Keep blessing the nation, my brother. Love what you do. Appreciate you. Dang, I was really gonna ask you, man, for this next Super Bowl. I was gonna say, put them hands
hey, hey,
together.
hey,
Put
hey,
the
we can definitely we all hoping and praying for that. I saw a comment in the chat. Leo was talking about Rice at wide receiver. I like that. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
Rice too.
Brendan Rice is actually a
Yeah.
guy from USC. He's a guy that you know what I'm saying, you can probably get, in the mid third to fourth round. You know what I'm saying? And that's a guy that you can have at, be a starter. You know what I'm saying? Grooming him into a starter, position. Kind of like I said earlier, if we decide to down the line transition away from Jacoby Myers, you know what I'm saying? Rice can slide right into that spot and get it busy for us. So yeah, that's definitely a name to look at.
Yeah, definitely. I like Rice. I definitely would want him on our squad too. His pops, of course, was with us. And you know what I'm saying? Like I would definitely like to see him, with us. Cause he has good size too. He has pretty good size. I want to say he's a little I don't know if he was faster than his dad or whatever, but
So
yeah, I was gonna say he's got some speed, so that's enough, man. And then, like you said, it would be good to have some guys to develop some good size. So yeah, I would definitely be down for that. Like, and I figure he's like a fourth round, give or take third, fourth rounder.
yeah,
So yeah, as long as we take care of business in those first couple picks, it's definitely something we can add because I mean AOC or Minshew are gonna need wide receivers. The thing with Minshew last year was that he had Michael Pittman, and that was kind of his go-to. So he was very comfortable with him. I hope he can have that same relationship with Devontae. I hope they can get on the same page and do well. But yeah, we need that. We need those action pieces to move the defense around and get them in uncomfortable positions.
absolutely.
Definitely. Nation, man, it's been real. I will see you guys later tonight. Twine, until the next time. You know what I'm saying? Salute. And Nation, we will see you tonight, 6 p.m. Go Nation. Brown crackers, baby.
Yes.